up, everybody? I am back. Today I'm vlogging. I haven't vlogged in a while, and I'm actually really excited to get back into it because I have so much of my life that I want to share with you all, but just have not been in the habit of recording things. So this is me making the commitment to start recording and putting out videos, releasing the attachment of how it's received. I find myself getting into this mind frame, and maybe if you guys can relate, please leave a comment below. That being said, I'm about to go to the gym to train with two of my buddies. They are both incredible humans. They are both vegan, strong men who are advocating for a more compassionate lifestyle in their own way, and you'll see just how different these personalities are. But one of them is my good friend Paul Gelder, and Paul is an animal. He is a machine. He is quite literally a bionic human. He has a prosthetic leg and a prosthetic arm as a result of him being attacked by a shark years ago, and he did not let that stop him. He did not let that stop his life. He actually leveraged it and transformed his life to becoming an advocate and a shark conservationist, which is quite crazy. And we can get into his story whenever we're training. And then my other best friend, Chris, who has also been a vegan for over 5-6 years and is in incredible shape. He's looking better than ever. Honestly, he's probably the best shape I've seen him in. And we've just been getting after it. So I'm gonna show a workout that we're doing today. I'm not sure exactly what kind of workout it is, but it's gonna be fun. We're gonna be answering some questions about our story, our experience being vegan men online and putting ourselves out there, talking about a more alternative lifestyle that is not the norm. So let's go. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's get started.
A few moments later.
All right, so here we are in Santa Monica. This is a brand new gym that just opened up called Dominate Fitness. It's on Main Street here in Santa Monica, so be sure to come check it out. They were nice enough to let us come and film this video here. Thanks to my buddy Paul. He knows the owner. He knows the owner. But we're about to do a back day, so full pull exercises. We're gonna start off with bent over rows. As you can see, Paul here, he's working with 2 prosthetics and he's still showing up to the gym, and he's a freaking monster, bro. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the channel.
How you doing? Paul Gelder. I've hung out with Nimai a bunch. You might have seen me on his podcast and stuff.
Yeah.
We've had some pretty good chats.
Always.
Had some pretty good workouts too, but just testing out this new gym.
Yeah.
Chris Moore, jeez,
Chris.
Super jacked at the moment. Shredded
Hello
down.
guys, stoked for the back workout today.
Yeah.
Here for the ride.
Yeah. What have you been doing? Chris looks freaking incredible right now. I don't know.
Just wrapping up a cut.
Yeah.
3 months of no
shredding.
eating. Yeah.
Not like me. I'm eating pizza 3 times a week.
Still fitting in the pizza.
Still
fitting in the pizza.
Feel working out here compared to Gold's in Venice?
You know, I love gyms like this for stuff like this, but it feels so sterile. Everything feels so clean. I'm just not used to it. I like the grunginess of Gold's Gym and kind of like the grittiness of it. Oh, how long have you been vegan for?
I think since about 2016 when I first moved out to America.
Yeah.
I started doing it when I was still in Sydney, but I didn't know what to eat.
Yeah.
I did like 3 days. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna worry about this, it's too hard. And then, you know, just kept popping up in my universe. Like people that I respected, like Damien Mander, who you know. Another friend of mine, Ian Norrington, who's like a celebrity security guard, is an London standover man, big giant of a dude, covered in tattoos, Thai boxing in Thailand. And he was vegan. It just kind of broke that whole stereotype down.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh shit, okay, you can actually be vegan and have compassion for animals and not create harm in the environment and still be a big manly dude. And so it's like, all right, well, if they can do it, then there's nothing so special about them. Same way I kind of thought when I went from Army to the Navy, and I was scared to jump from the paratroopers, like the elite Navy clearance divers, and I was like, you know, there's nothing so special about them that I can't replicate what they're doing, as long as you go whole hog, focus on it, you learn about what you're doing, and then you don't have to recreate the wheel.
Yeah.
You just replicate what they're doing, because they're clearly doing it right if they're already there.
Yeah. I think it's so important to even just touch on what he said. It's like sometimes, for whatever reason, look, guys are stubborn, all right? Look, we are very stubborn. And sometimes we need proof. We need to see somebody else doing it before it gives us the permission to really like shape our, reshift our beliefs around something and be open to the idea of trying something new and believing in ourselves that we can do it. So sometimes seeing guys like Paul or Chris or even like guys in the Game Changers that are like elite level athletes just crushing it that are all vegan, it just changes your mindset of what you used to believe.
Yeah. Or a doctor or a nutritionist or an animal rights conservationist to say eating vegan is the way, let's not create harm, let's create compassion, but most people aren't going to listen to that. So we wanted to do it in a way whereby it would be people that others respect and look up to, and that will change your perception of the whole situation.
Absolutely.
That's what worked for me. Like, I think there's a place for everything. I think there's a place for the people like Joey Carbstrong and Peter and all those guys that go in the streets and show them what slaughterhouses are like and stuff. I think there's a place for that. That does change people, and I think there's a place for people like you that do it in the fitness realm and the YouTube and the podcast that preach. And then there's a place for people like me where I don't really push it on people. I just let them learn about me, get to know me, and then finally they figure it out. They go, oh, light bulb moment. So I think everyone plays their part in helping others to understand.
Yeah.
How am I going to be on Shark Week talking about saving the sharks, saving the oceans, when I go home and I eat salmon and I'm using my dollars to contribute to the destruction of the thing that I'm trying to promote to save it. So
preserve.
It's like, okay, I don't want to be a hypocrite, so I'm just not going to eat it anymore. Therefore, I'm not contributing to that destruction. And then, like you said, it's a chain reaction.
Yeah, absolutely. Things stay on when we're that way.
Firstly, it's this
Okay.
silicone liner. So I got to take it off all the time and dry the sweat out of it. It slips off. Roll that on. It's quite comfy. It's like nice, soft silicone. That pin on the end there screws in and off.
Okay.
And then that locks
So that's all
into a locking system in here.
It's all the tension.
Yeah, so it goes in there. You hear it lock in.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's locked in at the end. It's supposed to like disengage different attachments here, but I've taken it diving so many times it's rusted solid, so now I've got to unscrew it all. And then it's got the plastic on the elbow there. There, so that locks in here.
Gotcha.
And this Velcro secures that in there. So it's like a three-way system that keeps it locked on. So it'll stay on no matter the weight that I pull. It's just about how much sweat gets in there between my skin and the silicone line, and it starts to pull off.
Gotcha.
Yeah, thank God for
Crazy
for
technology.
this. Can't really superset at Golds.
Yeah, I know, because everything's taken.
One of the benefits of coming training here in a new, nice, quiet gym while it's still quiet, you can use whatever you want.
Especially this time.
Superset, triple set, quadruple set.
What's the most common answer people tell you whenever they find out you're vegan?
I think most people are surprised. Although if they've been exposed to my social media, I'm a bit more confrontational as of lately than most. Like, I wouldn't say like activism, but more just like in your like
reactivism.
Yeah, reactivism is the perfect way to put it. Like, people will come to my page and say like, uneducated things, and I will very often clap back. So if you've been exposed to my social media, you already know. If you meet me in person, it's kind of the same thing. Surprise, or like really often is the like defending why they're not vegan, but not like kind of explaining like, oh yeah, like I tried before, or like this just didn't agree with me. And like, again,
My favorite's when they just...
I don't care.
Same. I really...
Like, I mean, I do for
do
the
and I
animals,
don't.
but I'm not there to like try and force someone to do it. Yeah, and I definitely don't need you to like justify it to me. Like,
people love to tell me, unprovoked, like without me asking, they'll be like, oh, I'm like 92% vegan.
yeah, yeah.
Being vegan is very binary. Either you are or you're not. There's no in between. But if you eat plant-based, then that's one thing. If you eat predominantly plant-based, it's cool. And like, again, I'm all for it. All progress towards a more plant-centric diet, I'm a supporter of. But also, it's just interesting to hear people just want to relate on some level, and then by their attempt to relate, it's telling me how it doesn't work, or it doesn't work for them. And in my experience, because I know it works, just hearing excuses or just lack of knowledge or lack of education about it. And I just find myself in these conversations constantly.
Do people ever accuse you of like steroids or anything?
Every day, because they don't come across too many vegans that look the way that we look, and because it's so incomprehensible, they automatically think that there must be some kind of cheat code or some type of secret that we're not sharing, and it really is just the power of plants and eating consistently, making sure you get enough protein, enough calories, and on top of that, training your ass off. Like, that's a big part of the equation that most people leave out. It's like, oh, you can be vegan and look like that. No, you can't. Like, not everybody's going to look the way that we look without training hard and being dedicated to your craft. So it goes hand in hand, diet and training.
Yeah, as I've gotten more shredded, like this year, like the accusations come in every day, and I've also, you know, like I said earlier, a little bit confrontational, so I egg it on. But the reality is, there's no way to satisfy people like that. Like, I am a lifetime natural. I've never taken steroids. If I wanted to, I'd be open about it, or if I did, I'd be open about it. Like, there's no problem with it, but I don't. And the reason I don't is so that I can continue maintaining and showing what the vegan diet can do. But there's no way to satisfy those people. If I went and got blood tests, they'd say I was faking it. If I won a natural show, they'd say I paid people off. Like, it doesn't, if I don't live stream it and they're not standing there right there with me holding my hand as they draw the blood, then like ultimately they'll never be satisfied. So all you can really do is ignore those people, or even better, egg them on so that more people come to your page and get exposed to veganism. So
and it's normally always the people that don't look like you that are like, how do you know someone's on steroids on the internet? They look bigger than you, you know, that's it. They're in better shape than you.
Everyone that says anything about steroids, the reason they're saying it is because it confirms their own self-limiting belief. If they think that everyone who's in better shape than them is on steroids or cheats, then they never actually have to come up with the actual reason for why they never tried. They just don't have to, because it's not possible to them naturally. I used to be 235 pounds overweight. I worked really hard through diet and exercise to get to a certain level of health and fitness. And then after finding plant-based and veganism, you know, was really able to go from like just a regular average person to an athlete. And so, you know, when people don't know my full story and then they just assume that like my physique was built in a few months or a year and I used a bunch of steroids or supplements to do it, it's like you don't know the decade or more of work that it's taken to get to where I am today.
That's the other thing. Yeah, exactly. How long have you been training for?
A couple of months.
Yeah.
Let's see what's possible.
That's what I tell
I've been
every
training.
single one of them. Like, let me coach you for free and show you what you're actually capable of. Because the reality is, you're just limiting yourself. If I can do it, like a regular dude from Louisiana with no background in nutrition or anything can learn it all and lose the weight and then become an athlete. Like, anyone can do it. It's not that crazy.
Same thing with eating plants. I get so many people that say that it's like not their blood type. Bro, trust me, I'm not an X-Men. I don't have some kind of secret gene that allows me to process plants better than the next guy. It's just fucking plants. Like, your body absorbs it, and if your body can't absorb it, it's because you've been eating like shit before. You might have an allergy. I'm not going to make a generalized statement, but the more you eat them, the healthier you become and the more digestible they become. So don't believe the hype about all these like lectins and all the other crap, the anti-nutrients that people love to talk shit about plants for. It's just, you just gotta eat them. They're plants, they're beans, they're not gonna kill you.
Back before the internet, when I grew up with the dinosaurs, we only had to deal with bullies at school.
Yeah.
Maybe in the neighborhood. Now kids have to grow up with bullies from every walk of life, from all over the world. They don't even care how old you are. They'll just slam you non-stop. You seem to treat it like water off a duck's back. So what message would you give to people that are suffering from bullying like that, from just an enormous amount of haters from any walk of life?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. It didn't happen overnight for me, because I used to be, and still am, somebody that cares about what people think. It's like, I don't think that pattern will ever go away. I think it's human to care what other people think, but to allow it to affect me and to allow some stranger to say a few words and allow that energy to penetrate through my screen and affect me in real life here and today, it's I just try to not let it, and remember that everybody that's judging you is like a form of self-judgment. You just happen to be in their crosshairs that day. You have no idea what is happening in their life, in their world, that you've triggered them in some way and shown an aspect of themselves that they have yet to integrate or really acknowledge. And once you have that perspective, you can almost have compassion for people who are so critical of other people because they're suffering. You know, judging others is just a form of judging themselves.
That old saying, hurt people.
Just happen to be in their crosshairs. So if you can just send them love, you don't have to answer them. I tend to just restrict them so I don't have to hear from them again, because you also allow yourself the respect to not have to deal or accept that type of behavior, and you teach people how to treat you. So if somebody comes disrespectfully to my page, sometimes I'll respond and be like, hey, I hear you, and also this is how I feel. We can agree to disagree. It doesn't have to be a conflict, but it's easier said than done, and it is a practice over time. And I'm human. Some days I'm like, F you. Like, fuck you too.
Taught me a lot.
You know?
You definitely taught me a lot about having more patience with people and understanding that they're on their own kind of spiritual path, and maybe they haven't reached the level of compassion or understanding that you have.
All right, so that's a wrap, our back and bicep day. I just want to end it off by asking each one of you a question, like what would you tell any person out there that's not vegan right now, especially a guy out there that might be a little apprehensive about trying a plant-based diet? What would be your advice to them?
Look at what you have to lose. Really nothing. Once you look around the world, you go to some vegan bodybuilders or fitness people like Nimai, like Chris, and you see that it can actually be achieved. It is healthy. You're creating less harm in the world, and you feel good in your soul. What do you really got to lose? Give it a crack. It's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Paul summed it up, but it's like once you give it a try and you see how good it feels to live like this and to consume these foods, I really don't see how you could want to go back. And it's not nearly as difficult as it used to be. Literally every single one of your favorite foods, they have a plant-based option, and they probably have a really healthy plant-based option. So like, just give it a try, start with small things, and just keep building on it.
All incredible advice. My advice would be, you don't know what you don't know, and you could be blocking yourself from accessing a level of like health, a level of joy, a level of contentment in your body that you might have never experienced. And once you experience it, you're never gonna wanna let it go. So give it a try, see for yourself, and let the rest be what it is.
Come be part of the awesome community.
Come hang out with us.